All right, guys, we're at the Dylan incident now. I'm still sitting in my truck, getting these things out of my head that I probably should have done years ago, because it's never seemed to quit. If you're watching this, thank you for watching. I don't have anything to subscribe to. I'm just broken. So the Dylan incident, Dylan Powell. He's the way I could describe Dylan is a rich little brat from North or South Carolina, that his parents took care of every need he had, still does, and he got online playing video games and met a pretty girl and moved up here and got in over his head. So there's Dylan. None of my business. Don't give a shit. So Dylan, according to Chrissy, and I've learned at this point in life, and maybe I'm wrong because I trusted her so much, is kind of a liar. She makes things up to get attention, and I might be wrong. When they were dating, she would do pictures and things online, and I'm not into that. I don't share my woman. I made the statement several times, I don't share my toys. I just don't want to. I'm in love, and I'm passionate, and I care, and I don't even want you sharing pictures for money of your feet. But nonetheless, Dylan gave free cable. He worked for Comcast and gave Chrissy cable, and one day got mad while I was at work and came in the house, according to Chrissy, these are Chrissy's words, and was demeaning her and the children and said, "I never want to see you or your kids again," and ripped the cable back, pushed past her, ripped the cable box out. And this is just what I heard. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's true. And took the cable out of the house and left. And she was so distraught on that day, she called me, and I came home to take care of her and the kids. The next day, maybe the day after, I don't know, I was at her house, and she was babysitting. This is what she did for a living. She ran she was really, really bad at this job, but a daycare. And I will tell you that as I questioned, I'm going to go back a little bit. And originally we talked about how Chrissy was raped many times. And I didn't talk about that very deeply. And there's a huge story there, more than 5 minutes, about the incidences and how she said she was raped and how she would have trauma and she would pass out in her bathroom. I never physically saw her pass out. But I would hear her thump from upstairs. I would be downstairs and I would hear her hit the ground, and it would freak me out. I was having trauma over it, feared for her safety. I never saw any bruises. I may just be insane for even believing this, but I would run upstairs and then she would be out for a long period of time, or we would be making love and she would just start freaking out and I would just stop. And then I got to a point where I couldn't make love with her because I would try and I would be afraid of her safety. I was just consumed with taking care of this woman to a point to where I couldn't seem to do anything right. So Dylan comes over now. I'm going to move from that, and that could be a story on its own, a whole story, by the way, this trauma and whether or not it's true or whether or not it was made up. By the way, her ex-husband's name is Matthew. I probably don't want to list that because I don't know if it's actually true, and he seems, everything I knew about this man said he was a good person. And I know his current wife pretty well. I would at one point call her a friend. She seems like a very lovely lady, and she says it's all manipulating lies. And I'm the one being manipulated. So I'm the one that don't know the truth. I don't know if it happened or if it didn't happen. Am I being fucked with? I apologize for cursing, but it scares the hell out of me that I would have gone to jail for the safety of this woman that may not have even existed. So I digress. I backtracked. Dylan comes over the next day, the day after, brings this the box back for the cable, and they're kind of talking, and I'm in the house and they're standing up front, and I'm holding the baby that she's supposed to be watching. And it's a long period of time passes, and by a long period of time, I'm not a very patient person, so maybe it was 30 seconds. Let's call it 10 minutes. Finally, I set this baby down in the rocker, and I walk outside, and I'm like, hey, and she's holding this cable box in her hand. And she tells me that she was willing to keep the cable box because it was fine for her. And I'm going to go on from the cable box after this.